Hey everyone, my name is Terry Rixanderson. I'm a professional psychiatrist here on YouTube, and today I'm going to talk about a subject that we are all very familiar with. I'm sure most of us have experienced this in one way or another, and that would be depression. Now, I'm no stranger to depression, and I'll get into that, but it really does seem like in today's world and in the outside world, it seems like everything, there's not much to be happy about. There's a lot of things to be depressed about. Like, just for example, the genocide in Gaza, political activists are getting shot in the neck, AI is seemingly taking over every facet of our lives, and even just in the online space, it feels like day after day there's just more hatred and vitriol coming at us from every angle. And so that's no good, but that's ultimately beyond our control, like our personal control. So if we look inside, there may be other things that are contributing to it. You could be working, a dead-end job that you hate. You feel that nobody likes you, or you're just plagued by some sort of disease like autism or ADHD. And these are all very common problems in today's society. But I'm here today to show you maybe some tips and tricks on how to handle that better. And to understand it better, I need to show you where emotion is regulated in our brains from it's a psychology point of view, and how this all connects. So let me bring up a little drawing here. I'm gonna do a drawing of the brain. If it wants to, there we go. So we have our main lobes up here, the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, and then over here the cerebrus, which connects to the spinal cord down here. Now right in the middle of this brain, there's this little curly thing up in a ball like that. It looks like a little sperm cell, except it's in your brain. And what is this called? This is called the amygdala. As you can see, I aced science and biology, but I did not ace spelling in school, so bear with me on that. And this amygdala is what regulates our emotion in the brain. Emotion. There we go. So there we have the amygdala. Now, there's another thing that's right underneath it, sort of shaped like a banana, and this is called the hippocampus. Now, what exactly is the hippocampus? Well, it's where hippopotamuses go to college. I'm sorry, I just had to throw a little psychology joke at you guys there. That's not what the hippocampus is at all. The hippocampus is actually a part of our brain that regulates learning and memory, and it's let me write that down real quick. Learning and memory. There we go. So this amygdala and this hippocampus, they're right next to each other in the brain here. And so the connections between those two parts of the brain are super strong. Think about that for a second. The part that regulates your learning and your memory is so close together with what regulates your emotion. And so what we find in a lot of brains is that if you go really deep back in your memories, you'll find a lot of events in the past that may have sort of triggered this emotional dysfunction and this depression that we all seem to experience so often. So let me take you down on a deep dive of one of my own stories that sort of replays in my brain a lot. So I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore in high school, and I was a giddy little kid, a naive little kid, and a little bit horny at times, So And I was also really nerdy, as you can tell. I'm still pretty nerdy. I'm a fucking psychiatrist. If you didn't get that just at some point. But yeah, there was this girl. She was a senior in high school. Her name was Shelby McDonald, and she was one of the most beautiful girls I'd ever seen. And I really wanted to get with her, you know, as a lot of the guys did, but she was too far out of my league. She was a senior, I'm a sophomore. These were the things I was telling myself. But I did remember one thing that my late great father once told me, was that he always told me to just take my shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you know. And so I remember that, and so I decided to take my shot. I was rehearsing this one pickup line that I thought would really hit, because she seemed like a very smart girl. Apart from being really attractive, she seemed pretty smart. And so I wanted to hit her something with a little nerdy, but still something that would, you know, maybe get through to her, and she would find it really funny and endearing. And so I rehearsed this pickup line many times, trying to get it right. And then one day I finally walked up to her. She was next to her locker. I took a deep breath, and I said my pickup line that I had rehearsed. Hey Shelly, are you the mitochondria? Because you're the powerhouse of my heart. And then I'll never forget what happened next. She turned over to me with a sort of combined look of confusion, disgust, and horror on her face, and she said verbatim, "Get the fuck away from me." And from then on, for about 5 more years after that, that one moment, that single event in my life, sort of regulated my whole emotion, in not just in terms of dating, but just my everyday sort of core emotion throughout multiple facets of life. And you know why? Because like we said before, that hippocampus, which regulates that the core memories and learning, is so closely tied in with that amygdala that it sort of ruined my everyday life up until that point, and to a point where I couldn't ask out any girls. And so the lesson here is basically to learn stoicism, and implant stoicism in your brain, because ultimately what that does is it suppresses the emotions and the memory, and so be stoic. Don't let the emotions get in the way of your life. Don't let the past memories of your failures or heartbreaks get in the way of your life, because it's a pointless activity anyway. There's no point in dwelling on the past. I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm a doctor now. I'm a psychiatrist. Where the fuck is Shelby right now? She's probably ended up without any future aspirations. She's probably at a dead-end job of her own. She's living a completely miserable average life. Maybe a single mother with multiple kids that she doesn't love. She could be fucking dead. She could be dead and rotting in a ditch where she belongs!